12 fragrances, $30 at this end, $400 at this, and everything in between. They're lined up easiest to hardest, not cheapest to most expensive, so you can start where you actually are and not where somebody on the internet says you should be. And that one at the far left, that's number 12. It might be a bridge too far for you. It may be a little too challenging. That's okay. We're going to get there. So what's this list for? Well, this is my favorite time of the year. Fall is in the mail, and September is the real new year. January is a hangover and a resolution you've already broken. September is when things actually hit restart and shit gets real. School goes back after summer break, work goes back after you've thoroughly abused your holiday leave bank, and everybody who spent July saying, that's a September problem, is now sitting at a desk full of September problems with no holiday left to hide behind. And fashion resets right along with them. The new fall styles and trends are already in stores, which means your wardrobe is likely changing here and there, whether you're ready for it or not. I strongly feel that when the clothes change, what you smell like should change with them. That isn't vanity, it's the rhythm of a year that actually starts in the fall and should be treated as an opportunity, which is why everybody comes back to school or work or whatever a little different. Maybe it's a look overhaul, better dress, better haircut. Maybe you've spent the summer in the gym and you're in better shape. Maybe you've traveled far and wide and came back with a look and intellect of someone who's been somewhere. Or maybe you did none of that because the gym takes months and the wardrobe and the travel take money. Fragrance takes an afternoon. It's the cheapest way to change how you feel about yourself and the impression you leave with others, which makes it the lowest hanging fruit on the list of things that you can upgrade. Number one costs about $30 and it says Bentley on the front. It's a car company, which makes it the first thing on this list you should stop trusting, the label. It's never the information. The label is nothing. The nose is Michel Almeric, who also wrote Gucci Param, a legendary bottle that's no longer available and definitely should be. Not a small credit to find on a $30 bottle. It opens sharp, pepper and ginger, and then goes dark about 4 minutes flat. Dry incense, coal cedar, a resinous smoke with no sweetness in it anywhere. It smells like being outside in November. Nobody standing near you is standing here, and it costs you nothing. Leveling up isn't money, it's just deciding. Number two is for whoever's shelf is currently sweet and doesn't want to give that up, and you don't have to. Rochas Moustache, the 2018 Eau de Parfum. Natalie Graciaseto, and it also costs almost nothing. Mandarin and pepper up front, loud, it's juicy, and then a rose walks in behind them and settles into benzoin, vanilla, and cedar. It's warm, it's faintly boozy, it's growing up without reading like your uncle. Same feeling as what you already own, completely different construction holding it together. This is the shortest step on this list from where most people are standing, which is exactly why it's number 2 and not number 6. One thing of note, many people, myself included, consider this a very decent riff on YSL's tuxedo. I think Moustache may be a tad easier to wear, but that's my take. Regardless, it's sophisticated without being dated, and it signals to others that you know what you're doing when it comes to smelling fantastic. And did I mention this was cheap? Like as low as $30 for a bottle cheap. Number 3 is the one you're going to accuse me of putting here to be popular. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Sonia Constant, 2015. It's built on a Kulfi accord. Kulfi being the Indian frozen dessert. Cardamom, pistachio, saffron. Which matters because perfumery isn't copying Kulfi here. It's describing it. Spice and mandarin at the open, and then it blooms into something creamy that gets right to the edge of edible and then stops. My actual position is the best built crowd pleaser in the mainstream. And being a crowd pleaser here is not a crime like it can be with some other fragrances. Sweet with real architecture underneath is still a step up, and you can wear it the first week of September with nothing to unlearn. It never fails to elicit compliments as well, if that sort of thing is something that's important to you. And same perfumer as number 4, completely different job. Full disclosure on number 4, I own the 10 ml travel size, but I do want a full-size bottle. It is a fragrance that over the last year and a bit has grown on me the most. Tom Ford Eau d'Ombre Leather, the 2024 signature line, the cheapest door into a Tom Ford leather. Ginger and cardamom up top, vanilla runs through the middle and rounds the corners off with suede, and it lands on an amber and a honeyed wood. It's richer, it's considerably smoother than the original ombre leather. Leather is the biggest single step out of the fresh and sweet room, and this is the gentlest door into it anybody has built. You don't have to enjoy difficult fragrance to enjoy this one. But wear a leather once and you're in a different conversation permanently. Nobody goes back. And that's the easy half done. Everything so far you could put on tomorrow with no adjustment whatsoever. From 5 on, you have to want it. Pierre Bourdon wrote Cool Water, Pierre Bourdon wrote Kouros, and Pierre Bourdon is also rumored to be the original house perfumer at Krieg. Google that. But sit with that for a second, because Pierre Bourdon also wrote this, Frédéric Malle, French Lover, 2007. Sold in different markets under a different name. People got nervous about the word lover for some reason. It opens green and bitter and rooty, and it does not soften for you. Galbanum, juniper, violet leaf. Then iris takes the edges down and it goes quiet. Vetiver, oak moss, something gauzy sitting close to the skin all day. Every other bottle on this list seduces you by being a little warm. This one doesn't try to seduce you at all. And nobody in history has put this on by accident. If you want one bottle that proves you've made a choice rather than a purchase, this is the one. Number 6 is the cheapest hard fragrance on this list. And hard might be a bit of a stretch, but I'm sticking with that. And I want you to notice that those two words can actually go together. It's from Lalique. Lalique, Encre Noire à l'extrême. Natalie Lorson, 2015. Lorson wrote the original Encre Noire in 2006. So à l'extrême is the same perfumer returning to her own idea 10 years later and pushing it further. And it costs about $40. Bergamot, cypress, and elemi for a moment at the top, and then vetiver takes the entire thing over and it never gives it back. 2 vetivers actually, Haitian and Javan. Incense, iris underneath, benzoin, and sandalwood at the bottom. It's ultra dry, it's rooty, it's earthy, it's inky, Encre Noire. There's no sweetness in it, and it makes no attempt to find any. If you've just come off the sweet shelf, this one's going to fight you a little bit, which is exactly why it's here rather than down at number 2. And it's the answer to anyone who thinks the hard end of this list is about money. That was $400 of French Lover doing one job, and this is $40 doing something adjacent to it. Dry, green, and unbothered by whether you like it. And fair warning on the other side, it's about 5 hours and modest projection. Modest for something this uncompromising. There's a Klimt painting from 1907. A woman shut in a bronze tower by her father, the king of Argos, visited by Zeus as a golden rain. Somebody built a fragrance out of that, and essentially it flies way under the radar of mainstream fragrance enthusiasts, which is the entire reason it's number 7. It's Argos Danaë. The house says Christian Petrovich, who founded it, composes everything himself, which, taken at face value, is a different proposition from the marketing brief. Lemon and bergamot open it. It's almost fizzy. Cashmere wood, guaiac, cedar, and settles onto sandalwood and patchouli. On my skin, it runs most of the day, and it projects properly for the first 4 to 5 hours. It's approachable enough that nobody's going to find it too challenging. Obscure enough that wearing it could only have been a choice. That combination is rare, and it's the whole list in miniature. Right. Everything from here costs real money, so before we go on, only the maths that matter. A bottle you have to spray 4 times is expensive. A bottle you spray once, because once is all it takes, lasts years. Divide the price by the wares you actually get, not by milliliters. You do that honestly, and half of what's coming is cheaper than the designer bottle you're emptying every 9-10 weeks. Number 8 is the most over-recommended bottle in this hobby, and I'm recommending it anyways, so let me defend why. It's Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, Olivier Guillotin, 2007, from the original private blend. It's pipe tobacco and spice for about an hour, and then the vanilla takes the wheel and pulls the cacao, tonka, and dried fruit. It's dense, it's warm, it's unmistakable. 10 hours plus on my skin, and people will find you from across the room. I say that as information, not as a boast. And here's the defense. An enormous share of the sweet fragrances on the market are downstream of this bottle, whether the people wearing them know it or not. Being everywhere isn't the same as being bad. Being everywhere is what happens to originals. Wearing the source instead of its descendants is the purest version of leveling up there is. And this has never once turned sharp on me, which is the actual reason I keep coming back to it. I literally just bought this bottle today. And trust me, the dry down, the freaking dry down is just so good. It's as good as everyone says it is. And it deserves all the hype, even today, nearly 20 years later. I have a little 10 mil tester here. It's Ormonde, Jayne, Montabaco, Intensivo. The concept is Linda Pilkington's, the house founder. The formula is Geza Schoen, the eccentric molecules man, the ISO-E super guy. Ormonde, Jayne calls Intensivo their maximum strength. Same composition, just more of it. You'll see very specific percentages quoted around the internet. I'd take the principle and leave the numbers. There's an air note at the top, and that is genuinely what it smells like, air, with orange absolute, maybe a touch of cardamom, tea and flowers through the middle, and then the tobacco leaf is suede, moss. Great deal of isoe super, obviously, which is what makes it radiate off you instead of sitting on you. And the word for it is airy. It's a tobacco you could wear to the office in June, September. Restraint instead of volume, and almost nobody else in this category is attempting this. And number 10 doesn't smell like perfume, and I mean that literally. Labo Baie 19, Frank Vocal, 2019. The same person who wrote Santal 33, which is about as different an ambition as one nose can hold. Classic line, not a city exclusive, so there's no window, no manufactured urgency. And the idea here is petrichor, rain hitting dry ground after a long drought. Labo says it themselves in their own copy. It probably should have been called Water 19. Juniper, green leaves, patchouli, all that earth and chocolate taken out of it. And Ambroxan, musk. It's clean, mineral, faintly salty, damp. And this one isn't about attraction, and it isn't fishing for compliments. It's a weather event rendered accurately. And expanding what you think a fragrance is allowed to be about is a bigger jump than any single bottle here. Wormwood, mint, basil. That's how number 11 opens. And it's green, it's bitter, and it's unlike anything else you will smell this year. It's Amouage Memoir Man. Corinne Vincent Spenner, 2010, built around absinthe. Amouage will tell you it's 24% oil and aged 6 weeks, 3 in maceration, 3 in maturation. Most houses don't bother telling you the production is part of the product. Under it, incense, lavender, rose, and then tobacco, leather, vetiver, and oak moss. Almost no sweetness anywhere. On my skin, it opens loud, it projects hard for a couple of hours, and then it stays all day. It's dark, it's herbal, frankly a bit humorless, but I say that as a compliment. It's a fougere taken apart and rebuilt by someone with no interest whatsoever in a barbershop. And it isn't trying to make you likable, which is a different and better reason to wear something sometimes. And finally, here's the one from the top of the video, the one almost nobody should buy. Nasomatto Nudiflorum. Alessandro Gualtieri. It's an extrait. The house doesn't publish notes, deliberately. They want you to interpret it rather than check it against a list, which after 15 years of everybody reading pyramids at each other is kind of a nice inversion. So what's in here? I don't know. As far as anyone can tell, it's got rhubarb and raspberry up top. It's got definitely rose in the middle. And a leather built on isobutyl quinoline. It's a bitter old school leather material that has basically fallen out of use before this dragged it back. And it runs straight to like Robert Piquet's Bandit or Chanel's Cuir de Russie. This thing projects enormously and it lasts. And the audience for this particular signal is conservatively maybe close to zero. Not zero, but it does have a small and devoted fan base. I think a review that I read may sell this to you, and it reads as the following. Quote, having sex using a white floral soap on a wooden floor and steaming water. It's dirty, it's kinky, it's floral, unquote. And if you think a review like that's an outlier, well, think again. Here's another. Quote, hot and steamy sex in an old wooden cabin in the woods, unquote. So yeah, I think that there's something clearly sexual being transmitted by this one. Probably somewhere in the realm of a couple of psychological mechanisms like sexual priming or misattribution of arousal. I'll let you Google those. But if that's true, this fragrance pulls. But then again, nobody has worn Nudiflorum for a compliment. I mean, I have. And I was surprised when I actually got one from a real live woman to boot. I really do love this one. Gualtieri says he wants the perfume to make its own choices rather than serve his meaning. That's about as far from a marketing brief as this industry gets. So that's all 12. $30 at one end and a $400 extrait in the other, and the spread was deliberate. Because none of this is gated by money. If something up here is out of reach, because yeah, some of them I will acknowledge can be quite spendy, and you want it, buy a decant. 5 millimeters of the real thing. You can't buy a small portion of a business class seat, but you can absolutely buy a portion of a bottle. And I'd rather have and wear something I love, even if it's just for a season, than a full bottle of something I've settled for. So tell me, which number are you actually on? Give me the number and give me the bottle in the comments. I read them and I'm building the next list out of what you're sending me. Because in the end, it isn't the bottle. It's the deciding. New season, new you, new fragrance.